As we journey through life, there comes a moment when the dynamic between parents and their kids begins to change. For years, you pour your heart into raising them, teaching them, supporting them, putting their needs before your own. Then one day, something shifts. Perhaps they brush off your advice, overlook your thoughts, or even speak to you in a way that stings. Sometimes, it feels like they see you as an inconvenience rather than a cornerstone. If your children have begun treating you with less regard than you feel you've earned, it's natural to feel hurt or upset. You might want to point out all the sacrifices you've made, or remind them of the countless times you put them first. But here's the thing, letting frustration take over rarely helps. It can even widen the gap. Instead, there's a better approach, one that restores their respect without conflict or bitterness. Today, I'm sharing 6 practical steps you can take when your children don't show you the respect you deserve. These are straightforward adjustments in how you act and respond that can reshape how they view you. Some might catch you off guard, but stick with me until the end, and you'll learn how to reclaim your role as someone they value and honor. Let's dive in. Step 1. Stop seeking their validation. One trap parents often fall into, especially later in life, is trying too hard to win their children's approval. Maybe you've caught yourself bending over backwards, agreeing when you'd rather say no, rearranging your life to fit theirs, hoping they'll notice your efforts. But here's the hard reality. The more you chase their praise, the less they tend to respect you. Respect doesn't come from constantly giving in. It grows from standing firm in your own worth. When you're always the one adjusting, always smoothing things over, you signal that your needs don't matter. Over time, they might start seeing you as someone they don't need to take seriously. I once knew a man named Tom, a proud, self-reliant guy who, as he aged, began letting his kids call all the shots. He'd drop everything for them, keep quiet when they snapped at him, and avoid rocking the boat. "I just don't want to lose them," he'd say, but the more he gave in, the less they seemed to care. They took his presence for granted. The first step to earning respect isn't demanding it. It's showing you don't need their permission to value yourself. Set limits, speak up when it matters, say no when it's right. When you honor yourself, they'll begin to see you in a new light, and respect will follow. Step 2. Lead quietly, not loudly. When your kids dismiss your input, interrupt you, or act like your voice doesn't count, it's tempting to push back, to argue, to list all you've done, to insist they hear you out. But here's a truth worth remembering. Shouting for respect rarely wins it. Think about it. Has an argument ever truly changed how someone sees you? Respect isn't claimed in a tug-of-war of words. It's built through how you hold yourself, especially when they test you. Reacting with frustration often just hands them the upper hand. I once met a woman named Clara, a former nurse with a lifetime of wisdom. At home, though, her adult kids treated her like background noise, ignoring her suggestions, chuckling when she spoke up. At first, she'd snap back, trying to prove her worth. It only fueled the tension. Then Clara shifted gears. She stopped debating. Instead, she listened patiently, spoke with calm assurance, and carried herself with quiet strength. Over time, her kids noticed. They saw someone who didn't need to fight for a place. She simply had it. Don't argue for respect, embody it. Stay steady, keep your composure, and let your actions show them what it looks like. They'll catch on. If you're finding this helpful so far, drop a keep going in the comments to let me know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider hitting that button and the bell. We've got more insights coming your way. Step 3. Stand on your own emotionally. It's tough to accept, but as you age, you can't lean on your children to fill your emotional cup. You love them fiercely and hope they'll return that warmth and respect. Yet, when they sense you're relying on them to feel whole, the balance tips. People, even your own kids, admire those who don't need constant reassurance. If you hinge your happiness on their attention, it can weigh them down. Instead of gratitude, they might feel trapped, pulling back or brushing you off. I knew a man named James, a devoted dad, who, as his kids built their own lives, found himself waiting for their calls or visits. When they didn't reach out, he'd call first, dropping hints about how much he missed them. But it backfired. They started dodging him. Feeling smothered, then James changed course. He picked up woodworking, reconnected with old buddies, and focused on his own joy. Soon enough, his kids noticed. They called more, curious about his new projects, drawn to his independence. The less you need them to prop you up, the more they'll value your presence, not out of duty, but out of genuine interest. Step 4. Draw the line and hold it. A big reason respect fades is simple. We let it. If your kids speak rudely, shrug off your feelings, or act like your time's disposable, they'll keep doing it, not because they're cruel, But because we teach people how to treat us, setting boundaries isn't about pushing them away. It's about deciding what you'll accept and standing by it. It's not conflict, it's clarity. Take Sarah, a retired accountant I once knew. Her grown kids would cut her off mid-sentence or roll their eyes at her advice. She'd let it slide, thinking it wasn't worth the hassle. But over time, she saw the pattern. Her silence gave them permission. So she started responding. When they interrupted, she'd say, "I'll finish my thought first." When they brushed her off, she'd reply, "I deserve to be heard, even if we disagree." And when they crossed the line, she'd step back, "I'm here when you can treat me with kindness." They didn't like it at first, but they adjusted. They saw she meant it. If respect's slipping, ask yourself, am I allowing this? Set your standards and stick to them. Enjoying these tips? Comment yes below to let me know you're still here. And if you haven't subscribed, now's a great time. Let's keep this going together. Step 5, give only where it's valued. It's easy to lose respect when you keep pouring out effort, time, help, energy without a shred of thanks. As parents, we're wired to give, even when it's ignored or expected. But when you offer too much to someone who doesn't see its worth, it doesn't build connection, it breeds entitlement. They stop appreciating it and start assuming it's owed. I once knew a woman named Linda, a generous mom who jumped to help her kids, driving them around, lending money, always saying yes. But they rarely said thanks, they just asked for more. When she needed them, they were too busy. Fed up, Linda pulled back. She stopped offering unless they asked, and even then, only if it felt right. At first, they grumbled, but soon they started thanking her, realizing her help wasn't a given. If your kindness feels invisible, scale it back. When they see it's a privilege, not a right, they'll value it, and you more. Step 6, thrive beyond them. One of the strongest ways to reclaim respect is to show your kids your world doesn't spin around them. It's natural to make them your focus when they're young, but as time passes, that can backfire. If they think you're just waiting for their next move, they might feel burdened, or worse, see you as someone with nothing else to offer. People respect those who live with purpose, who have their own spark. I met a man named Henry, a widower in his 60s. After losing his wife, he leaned hard on his kids, checking in constantly. Hovering, they pulled away, their visits shrinking to quick hellos. Then Henry flipped the script. He took up gardening, joined a hiking group, and started living again. His kids noticed. They'd call asking about his latest trip, impressed by his energy. When you build a life that excites you, your kids see you as someone worth respecting, not out of guilt but admiration. If this resonates, drop a keep going in the comments. I'd love to know you made it this far. And if you're not subscribed, join us. Your support keeps this content coming. Closing thoughts. Respect isn't something you can force from your kids. It's something you spark through how you live. Stop chasing their nods of approval. The less you seek it, the more they'll offer. Show them what dignity looks like. Not with arguments, but with quiet strength. Ease off leaning on them emotionally. Your independence will draw them in. Set clear lines and hold them because they'll rise to what you expect. Give where it's cherished, not squandered, and build a life that stands on its own. Do this, and they'll start seeing you not as a shadow in their story, but as someone who shines, worthy of respect. Not because you asked, but because you are. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below what stood out to you today, and how might you use it. Your thoughts fuel us. If this hit home, like, subscribe, and share. We're here to keep bringing you ideas that matter. See you next time.